The MS Now News broadcast examines one of the most divisive and contentious issues in American politics, the Trump administration's hardline immigration agenda and its large-scale deportation campaign. A closer analysis of the report reveals a complex landscape where political power struggles, legal accountability gaps within federal law enforcement agencies, and far-reaching social consequences intersect to shape one of the defining debates in the United States today. A real-world catalyst and the ideological thread anchor Jacob opens the broadcast by drawing a direct connection between ideological political commitments and their deadly real-world consequences. By recalling the Republican National Convention 2 years earlier where mass deportation now signs dominated the convention, the report argues that current events are not isolated incidents, but rather the deliberate implementation of a long-standing political agenda. The deaths of 2 migrants, Lorenzo Salgado Araujo in Houston and Joanne Sebastian Guerrero in Maine, immediately transform what had been an ideological debate into an urgent humanitarian and legal crisis. This introduction not only establishes the report's critical tone, but also places viewers at the center of a fundamental dilemma: the trade-off between national security and immigration enforcement on one hand, and the protection of human life on the other. 2. The legal battle and the problem of law enforcement investigating itself. The 2 fatal ICE shootings quickly became the focus of heated political confrontations in Washington, particularly during the Senate confirmation hearing for Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche. At the heart of the debate lies the issue of independent oversight. When Senator Alex Padilla questioned whether state and local law enforcement agencies should be involved in investigations to ensure impartiality, Todd Blanche's equivocal response exposed what critics describe as a significant weakness within the federal oversight system: the Department of Homeland Security's tendency toward institutional self-protection. The fact that federal agents involved in previous fatal shootings in Minnesota remained on active duty for months without criminal charges is presented as evidence that oversight by the Office of Inspector General has failed to provide meaningful accountability. This strengthens Democratic arguments that the absence of truly independent investigations creates a de facto zone of impunity for federal agents, thereby eroding public confidence in the justice system. 3. The political psychology behind Donald Trump's policy reversal. One of the report's most revealing moments focuses on President Donald Trump's sudden reversal of a temporary suspension of ICE traffic stops. Only one day after senior officials had announced the pause in response to public outrage following the shootings, Trump reportedly ordered enforcement operations to resume. Citing reporting from The Atlantic, the broadcast argues that the primary motivation behind the reversal was symbolic rather than operational. Trump did not want to appear weak. From the perspective of political psychology, Trump has consistently viewed concessions made under public pressure as signs of political defeat. By repeating a familiar pattern such as his earlier decision to halt and then quickly resume immigration raids targeting farms and restaurants, the report portrays him as pursuing a consistent strategy of projecting unwavering strength and refusing to retreat in the face of criticism. To Trump's political base, this determination reinforces his campaign promise to secure America's borders. To his critics, however, it demonstrates a willingness to place political image above human lives. 4. Competing narratives. Secret police versus undermining law enforcement. The report highlights America's deep political polarization by presenting 2 sharply contrasting perspectives from Senator Jeff Merkley and former ICE Director Tom Homan. The progressive perspective. Senator Jeff Merkley employs powerful language, describing ICE operational methods as a secret police strategy. He points to the use of unmarked vehicles, officers without clearly visible identification, and the detention of individuals without immediate access to legal counsel. According to Merkley, these practices extend beyond immigration enforcement and represent warning signs of creeping authoritarianism. He argues that creating an internal enemy serves to justify the militarization of domestic law enforcement while gradually weakening the democratic foundations of the American Republic. The conservative perspective. Tom Homan. Speaking on Fox News, former ICE Director Tom Homan offers a fundamentally different interpretation. Homan places responsibility for the violence squarely on Democratic politicians, arguing that repeated public criticism of ICE, combined with encouragement for undocumented immigrants to resist or avoid cooperation with immigration authorities, has created increasingly dangerous conditions for federal agents. In his view, officers are forced into life-threatening situations that make the use of deadly force more likely. His warning that there will be more bloodshed serves both as a prediction and as a political message. Unless critics stop undermining immigration enforcement, violent confrontations will continue. 5. Social consequences and the human cost. In its closing segment, the broadcast shifts attention away from political calculations in Washington toward the devastating human consequences experienced by ordinary families. The emotional testimony of Ronaldo, the son of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, serves as a powerful reminder that behind every political controversy lies a family coping with irreversible loss. Senator Merkley also emphasizes a broader social ripple effect. Fear of immigration enforcement extends well beyond undocumented immigrants themselves, radiating throughout entire communities. Parents become afraid to send their children to school, workers stay home out of fear of detention, and businesses struggle with labor shortages. According to this argument, the resulting climate of fear damages not only vulnerable communities, but also the broader American economy. Conclusion: viewed through a broader analytical lens, the MS Now report is about far more than 2 fatal shootings or a single policy reversal. Instead, it portrays a nation experiencing profound structural divisions as the November election approaches. At its core lies a struggle between 2 competing visions of America. One that prioritizes uncompromising executive authority and aggressive federal immigration enforcement, and another that emphasizes transparency, accountability, human rights, and the preservation of long-standing democratic institutions. Ultimately, the report presents the immigration debate not merely as a policy dispute, but as a defining conflict over the future character of American democracy itself.